And we're back with the next episode of the Raiders Rambles. I am Jolt, chief host of the show, and joining me as usual is none other than my co host, Noble.
Morning.
Morning,
Yeah,
evening over here.
so it is. And I'm starting to feel a little bit frosty now.
Yes. You damn Australians in your damn time zones.
Well, we're the ones who turn the world upside down.
True, true.
We invert everything.
Flush the damn toilet down the right direction, assholes.
Exactly. And joining us today for this delightful show, we have Gil.
Hey guys, how's it going? Always happy to be back and part of the show and, more than ready to talk a lot of shit for one.
And a lot of that we have to deliver to you.
Oh boy, I
So
can't wait.
buckle up and enjoy the ride because you're stuck, because you're in this ride with us.
Yeah, not like I have much
You
of a
know?
choice. Right.
Oh, no, no, no. It's all part of the journey. May as well just enjoy it for all it's worth.
Agreed.
So, what have we got to start with? This one's going to be quite one little section. So let's start with this here first.
Oh my
Netflix
god.
CEO says movie theater system is quote unquote an outdated concept, believes streaming is saving Hollywood.
Bullshit.
Uh, uh, all right, so straight off on that comment, I would believe it to a point. However, the way streaming currently is, it's only going to destroy Hollywood in the long term.
Oh, literally. Oh my god, does it ever? Because, let's be honest, we still haven't forgot about the whole debacle and how the whole, workers' protest that goes on in Hollywood, for example, too. We know about that, first off. And the second part,
Protesting AI has nothing to do with it.
oh, no, I mean, I know that's only part of it, but, yeah, saving Hollywood? No, not by a long shot. But,
Now,
the good news is, Jolt, is that by streaming services, you have a lot of you know, it works for the some people who want to stay at home. Probably have kids and won't just be kicking
yeah.
the seats every time you go to the theater system.
I
All right.
mean, that's one thing. I mean, you gotta look at the ups and downs of it though. But the big question we want to ask before we go through it all is it is it possible to save Hollywood? I mean, yeah, you could. The more important question, rather than it's possible, is it worth it to save Hollywood?
Yeah, it depends how
That's
you
what I want to
save it,
know.
though.
Mhm.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, Hollywood does makes a lot of some good movies, right? But they could definitely do a whole lot better too. Not no, I mean, there's no denying that. But to solely rely on streaming to save Hollywood, like what kind of fucking rocks and what kind of fucking herbs you've been smoking, that ain't gonna save Hollywood, no matter what. It's
No,
The
gonna.
other
no,
thing
no.
is, and
Mm,
what people probably should pay attention to, is that movies can still make a profit.
yeah, I mean, depends what you make. I mean, if you make a good movie, people are gonna love it. But if you, let's say,
No, you can make utter slop that people will still enjoy and you'll make money out of it.
true, true.
Minecraft.
Hey, look at that, chicken jockey.
No, for God's sake.
I mean, you
I
you
mean, that's the
knew.
one that shoots out to me in a recent memory. So you got to use a relevant example.
Yeah, literally. Hey, look at that, Power Rangers. It's been a good long while since we ever seen it, right?
Yeah. And it's so weird. Like when the guy was asked, have you destroyed the head honcho of Netflix, Randolph was asked, have you destroyed Hollywood? He says, no, we're saving Hollywood.
It sort of makes you wonder. I mean, like, what's their true goal down the line?
Right.
Well, for starters, if you want to make things a little bit cheaper, maybe not pay like hundreds of thousands of dollars to a actor to appear in your movie or your TV show.
Yeah, I mean that's investment only if it's worth it, because that's a lot of money going to waste. And two, look, what's the point of making a movie if it's gonna be how should I put it? Just infested with the most insufferable actors, like the more recent Snow White, and just infested with politics and whatnot too. Like
Well,
nobody.
apparently Snow White's had the actress behind Snow White's had a bit of a bad bump in the road lately.
Oh, literally, you
That's
can only
true.
wonder why, right? Hey, it might be a true mystery, right, Jolt?
I mean, that's to say, it's whether or not she deserved it is one thing, but the way she's going about it,
Weird,
Yeah.
weird, weird.
yeah,
Or as I like to say, womp womp.
yeah. But the thing is, though, like to get back to the whole what they're trying to do with Netflix has been trying to do. What he's been saying is that Netflix is really, he says Netflix cares that we deliver the program to you in a way you want to watch it. I mean, yeah, like at home on the friggin' on your home cinema on the big TV rather than the cinema.
Without a
Like what and
butt
what?
ton of fucking ads
Yeah,
Agreed.
interfering with your watch.
yeah, like
Agreed.
in you know mid movie, mid series, whatever. And then he says, and then the guy says, "What does that say? What is the consumer trying to tell us? That they'd like to watch movies at home? Thank you."
My dude, look, I mean, down the line, it doesn't really matter, like how the movie's presented. Like, sure, I mean, I'll give some credit. Maybe streaming some movies has its benefits, for some kind of people who would depend on it, right? Sometimes you could go to the, let's say, what the fuck is that? That don't matter. Anyways, I mean, like I was saying too, is like I said, like the it's like the kind of movie that you make. If it's gonna
Yeah,
be like something just gonna watch at one point and forget about it, or if it's gonna be like a gem as well too, you're gonna
right.
watch
But I
over and over
think
again, right?
what the guy's trying to say has got more to do with like how you kind of watch it. So
Like
and
how you
and to
watch it.
get yeah, and to get to that, what he's saying to me, what he's saying is this. Let's read this. The studios and the theaters are duking it out over trying to preserve this 45-day window that is completely out of step with the consumer experience of just loving a movie. We're in a period of transition. Folks grew up thinking, I want to make movies on a gigantic screen and have strangers watch them, and to have them play in the theater for 2 months and people cry and sold out shows. It's not the concept.
Are you really sure it is an outdated concept?
I
Like,
mean, when's the last time you've seen a movie on a big screen?
oh, I
A few
mean,
months ago.
yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah. I
what
mean,
the
yeah, I know
this fucking thing?
you went and did the whole, the
Mm-hmm.
insurance thing, wasn't it?
The
I
day
remember.
the Earth blew up.
Hmm.
Oh God, yeah. What was the movie again? 2012, which the year was about to end like
No,
a.
that's the name of the bloody movie. The day the Earth blew up.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, a lot
Yeah, it
of
was a
people.
Warner Brothers cartoon. It was like
Oh,
something ripped out of the bloody early 90s with like the late 80s, maybe early 50s, between like the 50s and the 60s and the 90s. Anyway, it was an
yeah,
old ass cartoon and I enjoyed it. It was just
yeah,
movie length.
and here's the best part too. The what they call something outdated when they're using still stuff from the 90s or whatnot too. Who the fuck is smoking some herb, while publishing some shit like that? Ooh, using outdated thing is bad for movie cinema because outdated. Like, what the fuck are people on
Like, I
about?
mean, if you think about it this way, do you think the whole experience of watching a movie in the theaters is an outdated business model or some sort of thing in this era?
Look, I'll be honest. I mean, for starters, no, it's not outdated at all. And let me tell you something as well too. A big, meme that I had was the Dunes popcorn bucket. You know exactly which one I'm talking about. you've probably seen a couple of memes about how some people reacted to its design. Yeah.
Nope.
The Dune
Count
popcorn
yourself lucky
bucket.
then. Count
All right.
yourself lucky, because I mean, I've seen so much cursed things going on,
Oh,
and
the Dune 2 popcorn bucket meme. I see
yeah,
what it is. It's a
yeah,
thing.
yeah. People wanted to fuck it. Let's put it that way.
R- okay then. Now, but when you really go into the big nuts and bolts of what Netflix has been trying to do, like, do you really think that watching the home, the home theater experience is basically a thing that people like to do rather than step outside and walk to the big screen for a couple of hours and enjoy the movie?
Well, I mean, it's like I said, each of them have their pros and cons too. I mean, even Boombox says over here too that the drive-ins are coming back, which again, that's yet a third like business model too, which
True.
could be
Like,
good. But
the
then again, it just depends what you mean too, because like I
yeah,
don't know, at home
because I
you
mean, at the end of the day, drive-ins kind of came back as a bit of an opportunity because of the whole COVID thing. In a way, that's the last thing I heard about them.
true, true, and hey, I mean, if your car is that comfortable to watch a movie, then all the more to it, right?
Right, and the screen's big enough to accommodate for all of that, and you got a parking lot big enough, and it's viable to do such a thing.
And
You
there's
know,
enough privacy for it too, right?
yeah.
Like,
I mean, look, maybe the cinema isn't as outdated as people think, as the guy thinks it is. I mean,
yeah,
sure, yeah, you look, it's all about having options. You want to watch a movie at home, like wait a couple months, watch a movie at home at the comfort of your couch? Sure. You want to go watch it in a big cinema or a drive-in? Go for it.
and
But
hey, I mean, like it's like I said and whatnot too. Like, let's be honest as well too. Like smoking in cinemas, people hear that they're gonna think like, "Wow, we're back in the '70s." Because hey, I mean, you could technically have that experience on a drive-in by smoking in your own car, for example, too, right? But then again, whatever mess you make in your own car, there's no employee to fix it. Same as
mm,
well too with the streaming and whatnot too. But
right
then
now,
again, go on.
yeah. But that's pretty much what it is with the whole cinema experience. So I'd say net in that in if that was all metrics alone, then streaming itself can't exactly save Hollywood on the metric alone on what kind of experience the end consumer wants to experience that movie in.
Well, I mean, there could
So
be a pretty
yeah, like
simple and big one
like
too.
don't forget that there are people who want to stream movies while they're on public transport.
Yeah, literally, or at work too. And that's also a big thing.
Yeah, just don't get
But
friggin' busted by your supervisor while trying to do that.
I mean, yeah, it depends on which kind of job
Yeah,
and company too, right?
but either way, the important thing is though, the root and bolt, the crux of it is though, how is Netflix going to save Hollywood if movies that Hollywood make end up on there? How are they going to save it? Like, are they just going to put like Prime TV series as back on, and that's considered saving Hollywood? So we get like big hour-long TV or 30-minute TV series instead of full scale movies.
A lot of people, what could end up happening too is the sale of DVDs. Still, I mean, that's one way to preserve it. But like I said, I mean,
Right,
they're pretty much
but
as
that's the real big thing too. I get it. Physical is making a resurgence, and I'm 100% for it. I really am.
yeah. Because
Yeah,
look. I mean, here, I mean, I'm not only do I speak for myself, but a couple other people too, who growing up with good physical media, is that we're just tired of all the slop, tired of having paid subscription and whatnot too, to just overly political, glitchy slopware.
right. Yeah, that's one thing though. But let me ask the core question here though. What do people usually use Netflix for? Is it the movies, or is it to watch docos and TV series that you can't get on your TV?
Yeah, they make all the exclusives and whatnot too, just so people would flock over to their platform, right?
Like it goes with any streaming service as a general thing. Or like you just go there to watch a streaming TV series that like say Halo, to use an example, a Halo TV series that was only exclusive on Paramount and all that.
You mean the shitty TV show that didn't do anything?
Yeah, Halo was an oddly odd TV series to say the least, but you get the point. Like, is Netflix really just gonna? Is Netflix alone gonna save the cinema, or is it just gonna basically like replace movies with TV series, sort of thing?
That itself is a good question. Yeah, I mean, there could also be a lot of, let's say, indie stuff, just popping up and whatnot too, which, you know, not gonna lie, it is quite interesting too. Like a big player in the indie studios, I guess you could say. Well, you know what? You might as well give it a shout out to Glitch
God, like
Studios.
that reminds me. Like when you say indie, I'm reminded of this one eccentric neighborhood in my neck of the woods that has a whole eccentric vibe and hosts an indie cinema day. These indie cinema day with indie films and all that.
Oh boy,
Yeah, well, that's the fun thing.
is it a good business model? Like, is it a good
I
investment?
mean, making an indie film isn't exact, and putting it out there isn't exactly the easiest business. But
Agreed.
if it gets you exposure and needs to all that, then more power to them.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
Because yeah. But now that we're here and we're still on the topic of Netflix, but to sidetrack a little bit, here's something that they've announced that could potentially save Hollywood if at that. So let's have a look at this.
Let's see. Oh my fucking god.
Right. Get ready for mating season from the horny minds behind Big Mouth.
Jesus Christ. Oh my. Oh my god.
What's Big Mouth?
Consider
Big
yourself
Mouth
lucky.
it is a TV series that's also on Netflix, and it's coming to an end. And now, like in the same universe and spirit of Big Mouth, so comes the new thing
Mating
called
season.
Mating Season. Yes.
You can
So
only imagine how this is gonna go.
yeah, so Big Mouth is a kind of a you know a less than 10-year-old TV series with a uniquely cartoony art style to put it that way.
Hmm.
And yeah,
Hmm.
I'll just
Yeah.
quickly give you a quick the search results.
Yep.
Okay,
Oh
yep,
my
yep.
god.
And okay, so this
Not
is
to
Big
mention
Mouth.
Oh, that one. Right. Yeah, I never watched it.
Neither did I. Then again, that goes to show you that I'm not exactly a prime user of Netflix, but
not
that's
only
beside.
guys, not only that, but even Boombox over here too is asking for furry force. The one from College Humor.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
If I wanted a YouTube webtoon that I wanted to be played on Netflix, it would be the Smash Gets. It would be the one that the guy who beats up furries using Warhammer 40k.
Yeah, that's the
Remember that
Yeah,
one?
that's a good one. That's a
that
good
one's
one.
yeah, the Flash Gets. Yeah, there we go. That one's from Flash Gets. Let's see. And then again, we also got the Bedfellows, and we also got, oh my god, Peepoodoo, the Super Fuck Friends. What? Am I even reading this right? Oh man.
Anyway, the point is, you know what? Maybe this time we gave like these animators a gig like beyond YouTube and Newgrounds and all of that, and hopefully get
Hmm.
their big break on Netflix, and maybe that could save Hollywood.
You know what? Maybe could also give a shout out to a good old series that I'm pretty sure everybody's gonna love if they haven't heard of it already, called A Fox in Space. That one's a must. It's a
Oh,
must.
right.
Seriously.
That one.
Yeah, that one is a must.
I'm not familiar with it. I'm not going to look it up.
Oh, you're gonna love it later on. Trust me.
Hmm. All right. So let's read the blurb of what we can expect from Mating Season, this new, totally furry bait TV series with an eccentric art style.
I need booze.
Right. Yeah, we could say that though. I'll be the one who's holding all the beers then. Sure. Let's
Ooh.
go. So, now this new thing.
You want
What
to
do we
read
got?
it?
Yeah.
All
Actually,
right.
no, I can read it. It's fine. Created by Mark Levin, Jennifer Flaggett, Andrew Goldberg, and Nick Kroll. Produced by Brutus Pink with Chris Prynoski. And Prynoski. Dot dot dot. While Big Mouth told the story of a crew of adolescents and their repulsive hormone monsters, the new series is set in the animal world, far away from Bridgeton Middle School. It follows a cast of bears, raccoons, deer, foxes, and a host of other horny, lovable forest critters as they navigate love, sexual relationships, and the universal need to hook up and find a partner.
Oh
You know,
boy.
it sounds like a really stupid take on the TV show called Mongrels.
Oh my
Right,
god.
right.
Big Mouth is. Hmm. Oh boy.
Yeah. Because I mean, they did build Big Mouth as a coming of age story of sorts. Like when you're in that rebellious, edgy teenager phase.
Tell me, tell me something about the story, Jolt. This this series over here too. Is it going to be the Bridgeton Middle School? Is it going to be a school full of, you know, animal characters
No,
and
it's not. It's not so much a school. Like they did say it was far away from Bridgeton Middle School, and instead
mm,
it's in the forest. Like like you're basically gonna get not just these, like a bear, a deer, a fox, and a raccoon, and a whole bunch
and
of other thingos that just want to go horny and get their hump on.
but yeah, but there's a big catch too. Like, how old are they going to be? That's the big question in everybody's mind.
I mean, when you really, it's gonna be really interesting because when you try to ascribe an age to an animal character, you have to consider what kind of degree they're going to be anthropomorphized as. But I mean, look at this. If this is any indication, look at the fox character here that you're seeing.
Yep, the
Right.
smushy one. Yeah, no doubt she's going to be featured on E621 like that.
Right. If it's not the hips and then also subtle cleavage there, then yeah.
Bro, just look at the deer also too. Look at her body. That's also the giveaway too.
Twig. Yeah, no. I think it's honestly bang on for a figure of a deer, like wiry fin and a stick.
Oh yeah. You can only wonder what
Right.
kind of.
They just had to make the fox a thick midget, like a knockoff Atlas figure.
Oh boy.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So, okay, what have we got? They're just gonna bring this whole same this whole same gross out humor into the animal kingdom.
It sounds
Yeah.
like it's going to be something similar to Drawn Together.
Uh-huh.
And there's just these other two shows I can't think of the names of. They're both cartoons.
Oh
There's a
no.
crossover.
Guys. I decided to do a quick little search on E621 about the mating seasons. At this point in time, there's already 3 posts. I shit you not.
I mean, furries are capable of working fast, after all. But
Literally.
yeah, but just really look, just think about it. To answer your little question about how old they'll be. It's just this is what they had to say. After 8 incredible seasons of telling stories about growing up, we're excited to tell stories about actual grown-ups who happen to be animals who are also cartoons.
Well, I do hope to God there better be fucking grown-ups if you're gonna go down that route.
Brickleberry. I wonder if it's going to be anything like Brickleberry.
Probably. But then again, don't be too surprised.
If there's a mouthy little bear in it, then yeah, it's basically a rip on Brickleberry.
No, but we ended up getting a big bear like this one here.
Oh boy. Like what?
Right, like just I mean, if you really, really think about it, just imagine the kind of writing that they'll have to that they'll end up doing with such a thing. Ye gads.
I can imagine it already by now. Not to mention as well too. I mean, you probably wonder, at some point, maybe the creators who wrote Big Mouth wasn't? Yeah, Big Mouth.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, what if they were on Twitter? They were reading through some furry drama, right? They got involved with the furry fandom like that. And down the line, they decide to look up, hey, you know what? E621.net. How bad could it be?
Well,
I
this
mean,
wouldn't be the only furry show they've done. I mean, there's
Oh,
BoJack
no.
Horseman.
Oh, no, no. Yeah. Except that, of course, we're gonna have what's the best way to put it?
no, no, no. I think the best way
So
of how
much
we're gonna
more.
put this is if miraculously they get put on the Anthrocon Guest of Honor for 2026.
I would not be surprised.
Because I mean, 2025 is gonna get ready soon. Because that's gonna come in July this year. But
We are just, let's say, about like almost halfway through 2025, right? And oh boy, this year's
right,
showing
oh
a lot
boy.
of promise, isn't
Now,
it?
yeah, it really has. But you know what? Now, I mean, you look at this, and then this is like, yeah, this is definitely trying to court the weird furry sphere of the
Oh,
internet, and it's gonna be like, and everyone's gonna look at this and say, "Yep, furries are totally, definitely all about the sex." Like a stigma that's just now. This is just basically just reinforcing it more than anything else.
yeah, yeah. At this point, just why, why even be surprised
Like
anymore at this
why?
point?
Why? Like, look, no. Why try to sanitize the whole thing? When when furry already has a massive, massive PR problem, why try to sanitize it any further?
Or do you know what the best part is too? What if the furries are not anything like that too? What if the furries are more akin to what people really are on the inside, right? I bet a lot of
Right.
people haven't taken the time to think about that now, did they?
Right. But the fact that look, let's get the point of the matter is, they really, really went all in and said, forget about subtlety in the, and they just threw in all this horny subtext onto this thing, and there you go, bam! It's a TV series about a bunch of horny animals.
You
And
never
of
watched
course,
BoJack Horseman, did you?
yep, I've seen a few episodes, but not. I wish I could have seen more too, though.
I binged the whole thing.
So, were you high at the time, or were you drunk?
I don't drink, nor do I take illicit drugs.
Well, I'm. Wait, is weed illegal in Australia?
Currently, yes.
Oh, oh yeah, that explains a lot. That would explain a lot indeed. But still,
Right,
I
and
mean,
then
But yeah, but still, to just binge watch all of BoJack Horseman in one go. Holy shit!
Well, I
Anyway,
started with the first couple of episodes and then I thought, fuck, I can't stop.
oh my god. Anyways, and what else you got, Jolt?
Honestly, let's just see how this is going to pan out. Really, with because Big Mouth is gonna come to an end on on May the 23rd, and well, we're gonna see when this thing comes out
Mm-hmm.
and how they handle it. If it is it gonna be nothing more than just furry base so they can pleasure themselves?
That's
That
one way
remains
of
to be
putting it
seen.
lightly.
Hmm.
I don't know how to put it accurately 100%, but I don't know. I mean, what if there could be, let's say, a lot of BoJack Horseman on it, and probably look like an innocent furry cartoon series to have the most soul-crushing content there is?
Well, who knows? Well, it's either the whole thing is good or it just becomes like another one of those thing about grown-ups with just a lot of
Hey, I mean, if you think about it, hey Joel, if you think about it, maybe BoJack Horseman is just My Little Pony for depressed adults.
Crying out loud.
Hmm. Yeah, and I don't know how this one's going to be. Like, this is just basically, young, or maybe this is just going to be like maybe for young adults who are getting into that phase of life of about of entering, getting into the dating game. Because
Look,
they did say on the blurb that this is about navigating love, sexual relationships, and the universal need to hook up and find a partner.
yeah, but one thing they gotta to understand right off the bat is that the dating scene nowadays, as the Gen Z would put it, is absolutely cooked.
Yeah, but now we talk. I don't know how it is, but now if it's suggesting that we
It's
look at
worse.
modern, modern dating, yeah, it's one thing you could say it's cooked.
It's so
But
much
So
worse.
the only picture I have for modern dating would be two people sitting there with their phones, and the idea of them actually spending time with each other is sitting next to each other while texting to each other or using some chat service.
right, that's pretty
Or
much
AI
how.
too,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
But oh yeah, but I was gonna give a little bit of a small story, if there's time for it too, that is.
mm,
Alright, so the thing is, I remember back in high school too, which, I mean, because it was a time where e-dating was a bit of a new thing, per se, with, the people and not too. If you wanted to date someone in real life, we would have to find a way how to hook up with them digitally before hooking up with them physically, which, right off the bat, that is pretty fucking retarded. But here's the worst part, too. While some people I tried to approach back in those days, sometimes, I mean, like, they told me, like, oh, I'm taking whatnot, too. Right. But then again, you glance over at their texts and, like, keep in mind, this is a high school era where me and a couple of their classmates are in high school years. What? I'd be 16, give or take. But I look over, like the some of the tags that they left open, and sometimes it's like a 34-year-old guy that they're quote unquote dating. Like, are you out of your fucking mind?
I mean that's a pitfall of datings in the modern era, especially with the whole use of services like that. But
Now, there are
yeah,
two things to that. One, either the kid's going after him, or two, some dirty old man, or three, it's
yeah,
both.
hmm,
Don't be too
Don't
surprised.
forget, cougar is a thing.
yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, they're probably on their way to becoming cougars at this point. And thank God I dodged the bullet.
Whew, rightio. So we've got some more stuff to get through now, and the next thing that we have for you is this.
What do we have?
Alright. Britain bans export of video game controllers to Russia. Sanction aimed at quote unquote preventing them from being used to pilot drones.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Are you aware that the US do that?
Why,
I are
yes.
you let me tell you something a bit anecdotal on my own. Like, I've had the experience of actually flying a proper grade drone, a DJI one, as part of a university research project. And even then, it was like what I was flying with was not an Xbox controller or a PS4 one. It was actually a bespoke product from DJI that had, all the
Indeed.
nice bells and whistles. So I'm
Yeah,
not sure where the idea of a games controller was floated around, but okay.
Well,
guys.
if you've watched any US Army videos, you'll find that what the Army's done is they've taken, well, people play with Xboxes. So the easiest
Hmm.
thing for the operators to use would be an Xbox controller.
Or an Xbox based controller, right?
I mean, did you ever see what was that submarine that blew up? No,
Yep.
that imploded. Yeah, that was
Yep.
controlled with a Logitech basic controller, one of those cheap knockoff controllers.
I think
Yeah.
I remember that one.
Those can be used to pilot submarines as well.
Yes, but
Death
guys.
traps.
Yeah, but guys, do you know how stupid this article really is too?
Right.
Not
Like, but
only
it's this is why we're talking about it. This is the stupidity of it. Like how does look, how does the UK government feel the compulsive need to do such a thing that and then end up getting ridiculed to
I
this
know,
degree?
but guys, look. We're on the year of 2025 where we got ourselves like the technology of 3D printing, which a lot of people nowadays could also 3D print their circuit boards. And probably could get their components off Timu, have it all assembled within Russia with the sanctions being completely retarded.
Right, and that's if you need to, you go through a lot of back channels to get the know-how to how to do it, though.
Look,
That's basically beyond the scope of what we're trying to cover here, which is the ridiculousness of the absurdity of banning an export of video game controllers and other devices. So let's take a read. So,
indeed.
in a wartime economic move that feels like a bit more symbolic than strategically necessary, the UK government has announced, in the service of aiding Ukraine's ongoing defense efforts, they have chosen to add video game controllers to the ever growing list of items the country and its citizens are barred from exporting to Russia. And according to an April 24th amendment made to the country's ongoing list of Russian sanctions, amongst a wide range of other items that has been, restricted, the UK have added any and all radio remote control apparatus to the list.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what they had to say about it. In a statement issued to the media confirming the amendment package, Minister of State Stephen Dowdy confirmed, "Today, we are flexing our powers to choke the Russian war machine, save Ukrainian lives, and protect British businesses from cynical Russian exploitation."
What? That's
Right.
that's what he legit said, right?
Yeah. Um,
Hmm.
Oh, it gets worse. It gets better, actually. Let's read this. This is what he also had to say. Cutting off Russia's energy revenues will drain Putin's war chest. That's why we're shutting down the sale of sophisticated hardware used to cash in on new oil and gas reserves, preventing
Wait, hold
UK
on. This is in reference to game controllers.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, but I haven't finished. So preventing UK expertise from being used to pour fresh fuel into Russia's war machine. And he goes on, we've also banning outright video game controllers going to Russia, preventing them from being used to pilot drones on the front line, meaning gaming consoles will no longer be repurposed to kill in Ukraine.
What?
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna stop there and just see, like, and this is just like you have the blankest face reacting to this because it's like the it's like a mixture of both absurdity and idiocy all at once.
Yes, because guys, look, it it doesn't, does isn't Russia allied with, China, which, makes a living off, the usual stereotype of stealing technologies and whatnot too.
Um, yeah, well, yes, they are. They're in good, they're good chums with Russia, with China, the BRICS bloc, and on a whole lot of other countries that they can get, all this stuff
Really,
in. But
really makes you think, doesn't it?
yeah, now here's the question here: where are most of our PlayStation and Xbox controllers made nowadays? China,
Yep.
Brazil, Japan. Well, Japan doesn't really make them much nowadays, do they?
Unfortunately, not.
No, but you get the point.
Hmm.
So they'd have, if they can't buy a British controller, they can just go to the Chinese and ask us, hey, can you pass us some Xbox controllers?
Or the components to do so.
Right. And dude, so at the end of the day, like what does the UK even make? Do the UK even make Xbox controllers or anything like that of that regard?
Well, the
No.
thing is that they can ban, like those electronics going through them to Russia, but then again, it goes from, let's say, Britain to another country to Russia. Well, look
Right.
at that.
That's what we call, friggin' supply chains and all of that.
Yeah, something a lot of these people should have known
That's
by
what
now.
we call.
Oh
Yeah.
well. Uh,
And it's just hilarious that this dude literally thinks that the banning of that is just basically gonna you're gonna dunk on them and say, "Aha, we got you there now, Putin. Now you can't fly drones."
Every politician, doesn't matter where they are going to try to seem big in some way, shape, or form.
for votes of the uninformed. Not only that,
Yeah,
but speaking of tech too, the Shabergindo. He asks, how many people are out there flying drones with an Xbox controller? Hey, I mean, it's an electronic. You press a button, controller sends signal, receiver receives signal, and does a thing. At least
I
pretty much
mean,
how it
you
works
can't.
on a
It is
basic.
definitely possible to to wire a drone and all that, so it would be compatible with with being flown with an Xbox controller. Yes, it is. I mean, I don't know enough. I've only ever used a drone once as a test bed for a university research project, so I can't say for sure, you know, anything about the recreational or competitive drone scenes, but it is possible.
Ah,
So there you go.
yeah, it's something
Now
for.
hmm,
Go on. Sorry, my bad.
that's the thing. Now the next thing that what now the next here's the next big question that I want to ask you guys or ask our listeners. What who is like the bigger threat here in banning the export of video game controllers? Is it drone pilots or is it the gamers?
Yeah, I'm looking at me. I'm an angry boomer. Those stupid kids and their violent video games.
No, no, no. Or like to be more contextually appropriate though, is it the evil Russian gamers?
Oh my god. And then you have to see I have a lot of these boomers saying how evil gay video games are because it makes Russians kill Ukrainians or some shit like that.
Yeah, right. Like game controller. Like we're gonna radicalize all these gamers into being future drone pilots or something.
Yeah, don't be too surprised. They'll probably say that because the TV told me, so therefore it's real.
Ah, dude. Just look at this picture here.
Um,
Cutting off Battletech for Russia's war machine, piloting a big drone thing with a PS5, PS4 controller. Oh my goodness.
that is
Ah,
just so fucking retarded.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Uh,
It's uh,
I don't get what it is with these fucking politicians too. Their
nah.
country, no,
It's the UK. They have just basically gone in, and all they can see is just the red mist.
literally.
Like now, Russia man bad, sort
It's
of red
not only
mist.
that, but guess what, guys? It also has to do with well, let's see, just appearing too, because it's just retarded when your country has a lot of internal problems, and all these politicians are just too busy flaunting their glory for like Ukraine. Like,
Hmm.
what is that going to achieve, right?
Well, I mean, if I were the British government and all of that, I would just basically have taken the thing and cut my losses, accepted it for what it is. But instead, what they have over there is just basically a you know,
Not,
bunch of
not.
goofies who can see nothing but the red mist.
Yeah, they're in not only that, but they're just doubling down on it too.
Mhm. Yeah. So really, though, to get back to what Noble has sent from sent, yeah, I can see why. Like, I mean,
Oh yeah, look at that. That,
yeah,
that
yeah,
does
They
look
yeah.
built
like
Like,
a.
that for people to use, but if you scroll down
yeah,
Mm,
past the advertisement, there you go.
yes, and
there it is.
an Xbox game controller used to maneuver the Plutonic master for the USS Colorado submarine in 2008. And
Hmm.
that, yeah,
Who would
I
have
still
thought?
remember the story about the whole, Logitech business. The,
Yeah,
Who would have
Logitech
thought?
Business though was a billionaire death trap. We need more of those.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Also, do you know what the best part is too? It just makes like probably some boomers are gonna say like, "Look, those violent video games are a psyop for the government."
Mm. But yeah, in the end though, like it was the video game controller that ended up having the best ergonomics and function for the joint controller. So
Yeah, it looks
hum
amazing
ho,
too.
I guess.
Yeah, look at that. That looks amazing. Not gonna lie.
I mean, if you don't have like, if you actually do need to be on the go, then of course your better option would be to just, repurpose a Steam Deck or a Nintendo Switch to be a drone piloting device.
I mean, that's pretty much what Russia, Ukraine has been doing ever since. Even with
So,
the shittiest,
you know,
technology you could find too.
the real question is how much loopholes do you have to close in order to shut off the friggin' war machine? Like say ban Xbox controls, ban PS controllers, ban Switch controls, ban the Switch device, ban the Steam Deck, ban VR devices. I could go on and on.
Yep.
It's
But
Oh
actually
yeah.
quite simple. You just ban any and all exports.
yeah, and then Russia wouldn't care about this because they can ask their good chums in China to send it over to them instead.
Or
Well,
then
they literally
again,
just have to drive a couple of days over the border and then back again.
Right.
or then again, guys. Or do you know what what could be an even worse outcome too? Probably some senile boomer, or I don't know, the UK government or whatnot too, would just say, you know what, all these stupid video games or whatnot too, I say now's their chance to ban them all too. Which of course would pretty much ban every every video game hardware for every British citizen. So now no one can ever play any video games anymore.
Good job, British government. We
Yeah, I
salute
mean,
you in service of the Ukrainian people.
yeah, he can probably see exactly. I mean, like the kind of mentality I'm referring to.
Right.
It's just phenomenal to put up with all this shit.
Okay. So we've got one more item, and that's still while we are on the gaming and controllers front. This time, of the type that won't be used as a war machine, unless of course you're a paranoid British politician. It's the Xbox controllers and Xbox Series X and accessories going into 2025. And so, if you've got it rough this year with literally everything getting more and more expensive nowadays, you'd be in shock because now Xbox and that have to raise their are planning to raise their prices. I mean, of course, Nintendo's doing the same thing too. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so now they're expecting to have their first party Xbox games to be $80 starting this holiday season from probably from Christmas, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and all of that onwards. And who knows? Like they're basically reacting to this as some stuff. So yeah, they're saying that now, like $79.99 is basically recommended retail price for games. And so we've got a list here. We've got a list here of prices for Xbox. Okay. Series S 512 gigabytes. Now $379, up from $299. The 1T 429 up from $349. The X has seen a $100 increase. That's like 20% from higher than before.
God help
Controllers,
us all.
yeah, controllers. The core series seems to be holding up fine at $65, and the colored ones $69.99. The special edition controllers will see a $10 price hike, and so forth and so forth. Xbox Elite for
Now, I should ask: is this in the US only, or is this worldwide?
Don't be too
this is
surprised.
just the prices for
Prices
US and
US and Canada.
and there is a listing for European prices, UK and Australian prices.
Ooh, let's look at
So,
Australia.
oh yeah, okay. Well, Xbox Series S, $599 Australian dues. Controllers are pretty much holding up the same. So, I'd say when it comes to exchange rates and that, I'd say when it comes to really exchange rates, I think the Australian prices has held up somewhat decently well when you really think about it. So here you go, Noble. The
Mm-hmm.
Xbox price, yeah.
So, what's the old price and what's the new price?
There's a new price only there.
Yeah, the new prices. That's so. If I punch in like for Xbox 379, and mentally in my thing, I'd say we kind of are getting a somewhat of a better deal. But you got to remember, in Australia, we tack on GST. We don't know if this is GST inclusive. But
You mean get
normally we
stealing
sell.
today?
Yeah, but normally in Australia we just sell stuff with GST added on. But in the US, it's just like they say they put the MSRP and then they add in sales tax. So
Mm-hmm.
from experience, I'd say it's kind of hard to say who's getting the better deal at this point.
Probably nobody.
But I do know, I'm kind of reluctant to buy big stuff from US just because I look at the price tag and then they tack on sales tax, unless of course I do all my shopping in like New Hampshire or something.
What's wrong with JB Hi-Fi or EB Games?
Nothing really. I mean, of course, there's always places to find better deals.
Yeah,
Like
literally.
I mean, funnily enough, I see PS5 stocked out everywhere else, and then I go to I go on a rare occasion to go to Costco here, and then I see like a pallet full of PS5s. So
Costco's got like pallets of PS5s. What the fuck?
yeah, because they sell all their stuff in bulk.
Guys, not gonna lie, but there was a one time, like a long time ago, that a local dollar store where I used to live, they held, a couple of Xbox One games for $2 at a fucking dollar store. I shit you not.
Mm, right. So we it's crazy how you think this is, but what do you think? Like, are all these prices just basically a lot of hubbub about the tariff that Mr. Trump has imposed, or is it just a lot of hubbub about how games nowadays are getting more expensive to produce and everything else?
No,
Hmm.
I believe it has to do with the tariffs.
Yeah, like if you're buying the console itself and all the other accessories, yeah, definitely it's got something to do with the tariffs.
No doubt about it. That's for sure.
But if it's games, well, they have to jack it up to $80. Seriously, I don't think tariffs would play much of a factor because where are they printing all the software from and all that stuff, and what about digital storefronts and so on and so on.
Yeah, like literally, who is gonna import? Like I don't know,
Mm.
Well, look, the
some
actual
technical.
physical console itself and controllers are the things that people are going to be paying for. If you do buy physical games, shit, where's the?
I don't. And even then,
I
if
don't have the
the
front one.
like, God forbid, if the disc itself was printed, was imprinted and all of that in China, yeah, they'd slap a tariff on it.
Which again, don't be too surprised.
But
But
yeah,
hmm,
but then again, games being that, you know, yeah, at that price point, you're basically, and for like a prime first party game of Xbox, at that point, you're basically just asking for you know what, let's try some, like less smaller budget games. Let's try some indies instead. And even at full price, like before a sale, you'd probably end up getting a better value proposition out of it.
true, true. That is a good point too.
Because I mean, it's usually it really depends. Like, it's hard to judge a game by its value proposition. Like, how much, like, what is the value proposition of a game? Price versus hours of enjoyment is just, it's kind of hard to quantify. But
True. Yes.
when you really think about it, and the state of like big studio games and the level of excitement that it's kind of generating for everyone, which is a bit of a which is in flux at the moment, then yeah, maybe the small budget games are the ones that are taking over. And to use a really, really, really recent example, I'd like to bring up the case of a new release called Clair Obscur Expedition 33, which
That's a mouthful.
is, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a French. Yes, yes, it is a French, a game that's built by the French.
French, of course.
Yes, but it's really, really, yeah. I know the French, the country that gave us Ubisoft and that, but it's not a Ubisoft game. That's a good thing.
Good.
And and
Mm.
Clair Obscur has been really smashing it out in the reviews and sales. It's bonkers, and it's actually looking a really promising game too.
All right. At least it's not a Ubisoft game too, right?
Yeah, that's the main thing.
Hey, I mean, if you got some images, let us see, because we're dying to see over here.
Yeah, yeah. Let's have a quick look. Like, I've got what's here, Clair Obscur Expedition 33.
Here we go.
It's, yeah, a game set in the 1890s. It's classically French. You've seen the warping of the big Eiffel Tower here.
Well, literally, yeah.
Yeah, and and right now they've said that they really have topped the sales. They're right now they're topping the sales and the Steam charts right now. So yeah, right now, like, it's really, really looking like a promising game. Like, compared to what passes for modern games nowadays. Like, you look at the Steam charts here, and Clair Obscur at its peak, 120,000 players, and right now 76,000 are in the games. So let's say Assassins, like the French contemporary that's playing as well, would be of course,
Mm.
Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Yeah, Ubi flop.
Yeah, now there's like 4,000 players in game, 64,000 on Ultimate Team.
Really? 4,000 players? No way. No way it's that high.
Yeah, and that's just on Steam. I mean, granted, we know Clair Obscur was a very recent release, like, but you get the point. Clair Obscur has doubled, at its all-time high, has practically nearly doubled the player count. So that's saying something, even the smaller studios can produce a really really big punchy game for less than the
Oh
money
yeah.
it costs to put Shadows. So honestly, I think that the whole $80 price tag for games might be a bit just maybe too out there. What do you think?
Just it's just a little too much because who who here has enough money, to spend $80 on a single game? Chances are, which might not even own it too, right? It's all digital.
Right, yeah,
Yeah, I'm. If I do buy a game, it's going to be. I'm going to have to save for a bit to do that.
right. And even if I do wanted to buy a game right now, I'd just wait for the game to go on sale because I'm usually a patient person. And
Hmm.
yeah, and even then, I tend to avoid buying big new releases. Like there are exceptions, of course, but you get the point. So yeah, I'm not exactly keen on it, but right now I can say I'm not super fast because the price of controllers seems to have not gone up by much. Like, because everywhere I see, like, they sell the Xbox controllers at the recommended retail price. I'm like, okay, cool.
Under more ideal economic situations, I would say that at the most that the average person would be willing to spend on a new well, let's say on an Xbox game at least. Let's put about like 20, right? Maybe 30 if it's like a big new game, right? If it's something good
Right.
under ideal economic
Yeah, and that's right. And now $30 can get you a brand spanking new, a good a good indie title or one from a lesser known studio, if at that. And you can still find so many gems. So, in that case, the value proposition is actually a net positive.
agreed.
So yeah, compared to like, the big studio games, I'd say, going for indies might be the go-to solution.
I'm not gonna lie. I think at least like nowadays the indie studios, they're gonna the ones who are gonna take the crown from the AAA studios easily,
Right. Yeah.
because of
So
course, I mean, I don't know who was like who had the brilliant idea to go to the big AAA studios to push out slop and then complain about the fans, so that complain it's the fans are being racist and xenophobic
and then
because the
and
indie
then you
releases are
wonder
shit.
why all these AAA studios are gonna face layoffs and all of that, and losses in the millions.
Well, yes, let's
Yeah.
just
To
spend
give
billions.
you a bit of good news though, who here remembers Dragon Age Veilguard
Hmm.
that we mentioned it? They just reported a loss of $100 million.
Oh, oh no, that's a
Anyway,
lot.
oh no. Anyway,
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Still, I mean, it just goes to show, doesn't it?
yes.
Oh god,
Anyway,
not. Mm.
so something that I believe that's all we've got for the week, and well, it's been quite the crazy with been slapped with.
I've been we've been actually seeing quite a lot of it. That's for sure.
So who'd like to just make a quick closing statement?
I suppose I could go first because look, Digital, I get it. A lot of it can be good and fun and all too, which, let's be honest, you don't own it. You might pay, let's say, $100 for a movie, right? Which, let's be, well, or at least a subscription fee, which would make more sense, right? But on the other hand, it's just the bottom line is you don't own it, and when they just want to get rid of the movie, like boom, right then and there, it's gone. And unfortunately, as well too. I mean, that's one of the key contributing facts to piracy, for one too. Which again, to watch a movie, let's say from your phone or something like that, that's pretty much what pirated movies used to look like ages ago. Right, Jolt?
Right, like you just basically like back then you just save the movie that you got questionably onto your laptop and then just watch
A
it while
f-
you're on public transport.
yeah, well, it's just like a file. Well, a large
Yeah, yeah,
file.
yeah, yeah. I remember those were the days.
Yeah. And nowadays they think they can do it their way. Even with video games too, which again crammed with ads. And what about you, Noble?
Well, mating season is going to be definitely something interesting to take a look at.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Britain
I
bans the whole gaming controller thing. I can actually see that, and I'm sort of curious why that wasn't kicked off before. But something may have decided. Someone in the British government may have decided. Right, gotta shove that stick a little further up my ass.
God
Like I
damn.
said, I'm surprised. I'm not surprised, but whatever. The price of consoles and that going up. Not really surprised, to be honest.
Uh
I
huh.
really am not. I mean, the whole trade thing at the moment's got a shit ton of businesses basically going into full on panic mode because they do not know what's going to happen in the next 24 fucking hours. It's
right,
like, well, are we going to have to fork out
Yeah.
an extra product and a half in order to get our goods in? Because, oh shit, we're fucked.
right. Because I mean, then again, it's just the US that are basically slapping tariffs on. Otherwise,
Unfortunately, most things purchased are based from the US dollar.
yeah, and even then, like, so we might need to see a bit of an economic upheaval, so that the trade markets can recalibrate.
Oh, they can't actually recalibrate if things are changing like from day to day or
Mm.
hour to hour. There is no way to keep things
Yeah,
in a sustainable manner if they've got no idea what's going to happen in the next like 15
true,
minutes.
true. Because Mr. Trump is saying all this hubbub about tariffs, and then he suspends tariffs to some countries and all that.
Yeah,
So
you can't run a business when you do not know how much something's going to cost.
yeah,
And then of course expect people to pay like a large amount of money that they don't
right.
have, right?
Because you can't, yeah, and you can't run a business unless you know exactly what kind of margins you're making.
So
So we
until
have,
shit settles down, um, prices are probably going to even go up even more.
Yeah, put a
And
couple of
then
years until things become better.
give it 6 months, see where we
Give
are.
or take. Yeah, give or take. Let's see how that goes from there. And what about you, Jolt? What do you got to say?
I just find it hilarious that they're basically banning stuff in the name of saving Ukrainian lives.
Yeah,
They're banning, yeah, that seems to be the sole reason for it. But that's pretty
yeah.
much the one thing that just struck out to me. It was like, oh,
As if they still run the British world empire, right?
but that empire has sunk with the fleet.
Ever since they decided to leave the EU, it's like plonk straight to the floor.
Even the U had its ups and downs too, to a degree.
Rightio. So, thank you all for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed that as much as we did, scouring to bring you this next episode of our wacky wild ride through this world. And as always, you can find our episodes on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, Player.fm, iHeartRadio, BitChute, more further down the line. That's all we've got for the week. Farewell, and until next time.
And until
I
then,
I just hope there's furry drama we can talk about next time.
oh, you know it.